First of all, I want to commend the Budget Steering Committee for the work that they've done, and also administration for the hours that they put in. I, for one, publicly stated that I wanted zero tax increase, and 1.31 would not have been acceptable. But at 0.097, I'm very accept that as a tax increase, and I would support the motion to point of acceptable.
Debate on the main motion. Councilor Thibault.
Thank you, Your Worship. Sort of surprised to see what happened on that particular amendment, but I guess everybody has to live with their decision. I did get an answer, I think, on the person to be hired for the project for the garbage dump. That's going to be coming back to council. And we did get from administration also that the additional position for the Benson Center would be coming back in the same fashion to council. My question to administration is on the fact that we received a petition from a number of neighbors requesting that a sidewalk not be built in their area. And we had a bit of a discussion on that issue at one point, and I don't remember what the amount of money was that was specifically highlighted for that. And I'm sure that administration could find that for me. But I find it really tough to understand why we would be looking at building a sidewalk as part of this budget, putting the money aside for it, in a neighborhood where we have neighbors that are saying, we don't want your sidewalk. And my question to administration specifically is there a law that states that that specific sidewalk has to be built? Or is that at the discretion of this council, this administration, and the neighborhood as to whether it happens or not?
Perhaps Mr. Levac could address that question, Councilor Thibault.
If I may, Mr. Mayor, thank you very much. The direct answer to your question is no, there is no law to build that sidewalk or any sidewalk. There are, however, a lot of best practices, standards, our own official plan, our own design standards for subdivisions, all established needs of sidewalk, where they should be and where not. And further to that, we've completed a fairly extensive effort in 2009, or 2010, I should say, to look at our pedestrian and bicycle network in the city and identify deficiencies. The area that you're talking about in particular is going to be reported on at Monday's council meeting. It does, however, not one way or the other not have an impact on the budget because it's funded through the gas tax. So the impact is only through the gas tax and not through the general tax levy. So that is really generated.
Taking that out of the budget would not make any difference, is what you're talking about.
Correct. Not make any difference in this particular exercise with respect to the tax levy, because it's funded through the gas tax.
Okay. I guess a couple of comments. One is that we have worked hard to bring the budget down from the initial number, which was 5.3, if I remember right, down to 0.97. I would have been quite happy in making sure that the motion by my confrere got passed. I think you can use money that's in your pocket to make an investment in order to buy a property versus borrowing the money from the taxpayer's pocket for a second time to do the same thing that you could do with the money that you already got out of their pocket. So it seemed to me it would have been a reasonable approach to moving in that situation. We were asked by the community, the Citizens Committee, and I want to mention that for a specific reason. I think this was one of the first times that we really had some interesting discussions with other than administration and council when it comes to how do we specifically go about trying to listen to ideas that are coming from the community. It's one thing to stand up in the newspapers and everywhere else and be stating we wanted tax reductions, but not providing us with any particular ideas on how that can happen. We didn't get elected here because we're geniuses and we're going to be able to do the impossible and try to come up with some ways of dealing with the fact that we have everybody who want different parts of the budget kept in the budget, and how do we make the decisions. So I want to commend the committee for the work that they've done, and the idea of moving towards making sure that we stay below the cost of living on an ongoing basis when it comes to our increase in taxes over the next number of years makes a hell of a lot of sense. I would hope that as a council we consider that as somewhat of a commitment. I'm making that commitment. I made that commitment a long time ago. I like the idea that we had 6.1 in the previous council. If we can stay under that number for this year, including the next 3 years, and have that amount compounded, it would, I think, bring us closer to what the Citizens Committee has been looking at, which is trying to reduce where we are versus other municipalities, given on where we stand in the big spectrum of things. I'm not going to support the budget as presented today. I would have supported it with the amendment at 5.4. But I also want to make the comment that in order for us to keep going in the direction that we are going in being fiscally conservative and squeezing whatever may be perceived as fat and looking at efficiencies and effectiveness and so on, the next year people have to be ready to understand that what we're going to end up having to tackle is the services and the jobs, because there ain't no fat left on that cow. So on that, thank you.